The Secret Garden, Chapter 19, Colin's Visitors. Dr. Craven came to Misselthwaite Manor as always after one of Colin's tantrums. He expected to see a pale, weak, sobbing boy lying in bed. Imagine his surprise when he saw Colin sitting up on the sofa and reading a picture book with Mary. I'm sorry to hear that you were ill, the doctor said nervously. I'm much better today, said Colin the Raja, and I plan to go outside in a day or two for some fresh air. I thought you didn't like fresh air, said the doctor, taking Colin's pulse. I don't when I'm alone, Colin replied royally, but my cousin is going with me, and a very strong boy I know will push my wheelchair. Colin slept soundly that night and woke up smiling, stretching his arms and legs. His mind was full of plans and thoughts about the garden, and Dickon and his wild creatures. It was nice to have good things to think about. Dickon says spring has come, Mary cried joyfully, bounding into his room. Colin had stayed indoors for so many years that he didn't really know about seasons changing. Open the window, he said happily. Maybe we'll hear golden trumpets announcing that spring has come. He had read about such fanfare in storybooks. Mary opened the window. Lie on your back and breathe in the air. That's what Dickon does when he's on the moor. He says it makes him feel strong, like he could live forever and ever. Colin took in big, deep, sweet breaths. After a while, the nurse arrived with breakfast for the children. She was setting their places when Colin made his announcement. In his best Raja voice, he said, A boy, a fox, a crow, and 2 squirrels are coming to see me this morning. I want servants to bring them here. The boy is Martha's brother Dickon. He is an animal charmer. Soon after, Colin heard a caw in the hallway. It's Suit, Mary said. Martha opened the door and said, If you please, sir, here's Mr. Dickon and his creatures. Dickon came in grinning widely. A crow sat on his right shoulder and a squirrel on his left. Another squirrel peeked out of his pocket. Captain trotted beside him, and in his arms Dickon cradled a baby lamb. Colin stared in speechless wonder. He'd never spoken to another boy before, let alone a menagerie. But Dickon wasn't at all shy. He knew that creatures stare until they find out about you. So Dickon didn't say anything at first. He went over to Colin and laid the baby lamb in his arms. The lamb nuzzled against Colin's side. What is it doing? Colin asked. It's hungry, and it wants its mother, Dickon explained. He knelt down beside Colin and took a feeding bottle from his pocket. The woolly baby began sucking on it happily. By the time the lamb fell asleep, Dickon had told Colin all about finding the little creature on the moor. As Colin and Mary listened, Suit flew in and out of the open window. The squirrels scampered onto the sill and explored a big tree outside. Captain curled up comfortably at Colin's feet. Dickon and Mary told Colin more about the garden and all that was growing there. Colin's eyes grew huge with excitement. He exclaimed, I'm really going to see it. You will, Mary said, and there's no time to lose.